It happened during my dad's birthday toast. We were at a private room in a downtown Chicago steakhouse. Low lighting, expensive bourbon, the kind of dinner where everyone performs success. Evan stood to make a speech. Tailored suit, confident grin, the future son-in-law everyone suddenly adored. He praised my dad's work ethic, thanked my mom for raising such an incredible woman. Then he looked at me. And of course, we're all still waiting to see what Lauren ends up doing with her career. The table laughed. Not cruelly. Worse, comfortably. I smiled. I'm a consultant, I said. He tilted his head. Right. Independent, right? That must be flexible. Flexible. Corporate code for unstable. He took a sip of bourbon and added, in my division, I lead analytics strategy reviews. It's high-level, fast-paced, not for everyone. My dad nodded, impressed. My sister squeezed his arm like she'd won something. But the words he used didn't line up. I've worked in corporate consulting for 5 years. Quiet contracts, confidential clients, real boardrooms. And what he described didn't exist in the department he claimed to work in. He kept talking, stacking buzzwords like trophies. Synergy, vertical integration, executive oversight, the kind of language that sounds powerful if you don't know what it actually means. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I watched, because people who lie love expanding the lie. And the more they expand it, the more structural cracks they leave behind. When dinner ended, he clapped my dad on the back. Don't worry, he said. I'll take care of your daughter. Something inside me shifted. Not humiliation, recognition. I'd seen this type before, the polished overperformer, the resume enhancer, the man who builds status socially before leveraging it financially. The next morning, while my family replayed how impressive he was, I opened my laptop and I decided to verify everything. Evan worked for a legitimate firm. That much was true, but not where he said, not in strategy, not in leadership. Mid-level operations. Nothing wrong with that, but very different from what he sold at dinner. I called a former colleague who still worked in that sector. Casual tone. Is there an analytics strategy review unit in that division? She laughed. No, never has been. Interesting. That's when I checked business registrations. Illinois Secretary of State database. There it was. An LLC under his name. Registered 18 months ago. No website, no LinkedIn presence. Virtual office address in a shared workspace downtown. Financial filings showed something unusual. Capital contributions. From individuals. Random amounts, $8,000 here. 15,000 there. I searched 2 of the contributor names, both connected to small claims court filings. Failure to repay private loan. Breach of investment agreement. My chest tightened. This wasn't corporate exaggeration. This was private fundraising. Without oversight, I dug deeper. Reddit threads. Buried finance forums. Anonymous praise posts about an exclusive investment vehicle. Same writing style, same phrasing. Then warnings. Stopped responding. Returns promised, never delivered. Careful. The pattern became clear. He built credibility in social circles, then pitched private opportunities, not massive scams, just controlled risk, small enough to stay under the radar, large enough to matter. And my dad, recently retired, liquid assets, trusting. And my sister, 3 weeks away from marrying him at a Napa Valley vineyard. I stared at the screen. He hadn't just embarrassed me. He'd positioned himself inside my family's finances. And now I knew how. The wedding was picture perfect. Napa Valley. White florals. String quartet. Sunset ceremony overlooking vineyards. My sister looked radiant. Evan looked untouchable. During cocktail hour, I overheard him talking to 2 of my dad's friends. Private growth fund. Invitation only, conservative projections. My stomach dropped. He was already pitching at his own wedding. I had spent the last 2 weeks compiling everything, LLC filings, Contribution records. Screenshots of complaints. Court references. Timeline summaries. No accusations, just facts. I debated telling my sister privately, but I knew how that would go. He would reframe it, charm her, turn me into the jealous older sister who never figured things out. No, if I did this, it had to be undeniable. The ceremony ended in applause. They kissed. Champagne flowed. Speeches were emotional. Evan cried during his vows. Convincing tears. The kind that make people believe they're witnessing sincerity. After dinner, while guests mingled under hanging lights, I saw him again, laughing, confident, already networking. That's when I stood up from my table, black folder in hand, not dramatic, not shaking. Just steady. He saw me approaching and smiled automatically. That smile faded when he saw the folder. "What's that?" he asked lightly. "Documentation," I replied. My sister stepped closer, and for the first time all weekend, he looked uncertain. I handed him the folder. He hesitated before opening it. That hesitation told me everything. He flipped through the first few pages. LLC registration. Financial contributions. Small claims filings. Forum screenshots. His jaw tightened. "Where did you get this?" he asked quietly. "Public records." My sister took the folder from him. She read silently. Her expression shifted slowly. Confusion. Concern. Then something colder. "What is this, Evan?" He forced a laugh. "Old side project. Nothing serious." She turned another page. "Why are there lawsuits?" "They're misunderstandings. Investors who didn't understand risk." My dad stepped in. "Investors?" The word echoed louder than I expected. Nearby conversations softened. People sensed something changing. Evan tried to control it. "This isn't the time." "No," I said calmly. "It's exactly the time." He looked at me like I'd broken some unspoken rule, but I hadn't accused him. I hadn't raised my voice. I had simply introduced transparency. My sister kept reading. "You told me you shut this down." Silence. That pause was fatal. 'Cause pauses mean truth is searching for a story. Guests were watching now. Phones lowered. Music suddenly felt too loud. He tried one final pivot. "She's twisting it." "She's always had a problem with me." I met his eyes. "I didn't twist anything. I printed it. 90 seconds. That's all it took." The image he built over a year fractured in under 2 minutes. My sister closed the folder, and she didn't take his hand. I walked away before the arguing escalated. Behind me, I heard raised voices. Questions. Anger. Truth-demanding air. He mocked me for not having a real career. But that night, in front of 200 guests in a vineyard sunset, he lost something far more valuable than reputation. He lost control. And in America, image is everything. Once it cracks publicly, it never fully repairs.